Hello, for gaming community and Beyblade community as a whole. It has been a very long time. I don't know the last time that we had our podcast episode. I want to say it was over a month or close to a month, but it's a couple of days before Christmas right now. Gonna have one to kick off the end of the year, and um, I always say to my good friends because it's true. We have a very special guest today. Good friend of mine as well as Mike's, Garishi. We will probably get into. I think we all met at the same time, right? All three of us, like face to
Yeah.
face. Was it in Virginia?
I think it was the
Yeah.
same tournament. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Now that I think about it, dang man, Thomas. Well, it was like last year or 2 years ago.
2021.
It was
I
like
think.
2 years ago, man.
2 years
Like,
ago.
I think it was March
Dang.
2021.
It's been a while, yeah. Like, cause we're like
Yeah.
all organizers now. Dang man, time has flies. It's crazy how much Beyblade has like brought us together. Or the WBO has like just brought us together. It's pretty dope. I okay, so just an introduction on that. So announcements. Sorry, Mike, I should have talked to you about this before. Because I always say announcements and then I say we have none, but we always do, like because Mike, you have a tournament every Saturday, right?
we have one every Saturday. I mean, there are exceptions. Sometimes, like when Garishi was hosting his tournament last weekend, we decided not to have one since he's right there in Virginia. I didn't want to steal any potential players from his tournament.
Yeah, I hear that.
Except you did by going to work.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I got so many people coming to the tournament. Mic drops. Ooh, I just lost half of them.
Yeah.
We'll get into it later.
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, it does happen. He has a whole band with him. That's how it was when we went to Virginia. And so that's been going on. I did want to shout out so I haven't been involved heavily. Most of today's episode is definitely y'all getting to know Garishi. Do you want us to call Garishi or Camden? Does it matter? Or?
Either one's good. We can.
Whichever one comes out of our mouths is the one that you accept at the time.
Yeah.
One minute it's Garishi, 1 minute it's Camden. It'll be everywhere.
I was definitely thinking that because I was like, I know I'm gonna mess it up. I know I asked you, but I was immediately about to mess it up and call you just whatever came to mind.
Can't let anyone know my name.
It's like that sometimes. But okay, so yeah, as far as me, it's not a big announcement, but I've just been busy. I do feel like I guess I owe an explanation. Work is just heavy. As y'all know, I always shout it out like Coast Guard life. It's a transfer season. It's coming out next summer. So pretty much the way that works, I let the Coast Guard know the top places that I'm willing to go or want to go, but I don't have overall say-so on that. So they choose it, and I could be at a unit to where I'm gone for 3 to 4 months at a time on the water, or I can be on land, and I don't know. So I've been stressing out about that heavily. It's not all a bad thing. I mean, I enjoy my job, but I still have my family, so I want to be, raise my kids and be around them. So that's been a lot what's going on. Work has just been heavy because we're just short on people. So I haven't done any Beyblade. I haven't even played like One Piece, except for like just on my computer. I haven't been involved like with any of the nerd life. It's just kind of been work and family time. So I do apologize the episodes haven't come out. I apologize to the community because I haven't been in any tournaments. But please be patient with me. Things should hopefully kick off beginning of next year or a little bit into it. But that's that. All right. Wasted no time on that. It's time to kick this off because I'm very excited about tonight's episode. And without further ado, Garishi, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, say how you got into Beyblade, and we'll go from there.
Hey, I'm Garishi on the WBO. My name is Camden. I'm here in Richmond, Virginia. I started off just like Crisis way back in plastics, or I guess we should say Bakuten. Yeah, and I was super into Beyblade up through HMS. And I'm a little bit older than a lot of people, but I think a little bit younger than y'all. I'm 32, so
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, Metal Fight hit for me like I guess that transition from high school into college. So I remember seeing that come out and go, "Oh, that's cool. They finally made a metal like we always wanted," and then just never got into it. I do remember the founder of the WBO, before the WBO got founded, when I was just a kid, I was like super into his blog, Off the
Mhm.
Chain, that eventually turned into the WBO. And so I remember when they were first talking about starting it, I was like, wow, that would be so cool. I bet that could get me into it. And again, I didn't get back into it. But
It happens.
yeah, I did run a little Beyblade fan site way back then. You can find it if you look hard enough.
What's
But
it called?
Beyblade Unleashed. You can
Oh,
find the
okay.
splash page, and that's about it. But yeah, I got back into Beyblade during Burst. I guess right at the end of Sparking, right as DB was about to hit. I think I was watching the cartoon again on YouTube because like, wow, I haven't seen this in forever. Like I
Mhm.
got it on DVD, but you know, I don't think it had a DVD player anymore. And
Mhm.
suggested video on YouTube was Beyblade Geeks, and I was like, whoa, they explode now? I gotta
Yeah.
find that. And so I like bought some at a grocery store and it was like, all right, this is awful. I'm almost 30, but like I think I'm gonna do this. And I, got back on the WBO. I found your tournament. I think it was March of 2021. And I was like, wow, that's literally 3 minutes up the road from me. And I
Mhm.
didn't know you were from, down there.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been even more surprising to me. But, I think I immediately signed up for that, and then I, like, saw some of your posts and the 4Gaming site, and I was like, "Oh, Hasbro's not the same anymore. I guess I gotta, like, make some order."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I remember you shouting out Hell Salamander, so I picked that up, picked up, some Pro
This
Series
was a
stuff.
while ago.
Yeah, and
Mike's
then
laughing. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I'm just thinking about sparking format and
yeah, yeah.
salamander.
oh, yeah.
Like, sorry to cut you off. So when I got in, because like I think we were all fairly new, and even at that time, like I liked Hell Salamander. I was just been bait. Yes, it was highly outclassed, but I was getting into the like the meta scene and tournament scene. And I was like, hey, I want to be a little different, you know. And she still like kind of held her own a little bit, you know. I had her on Zone Dash plus Z. Sometimes I squeak out some wins. Most of the parts she bursts, but sorry, I gave you bad advice at that time, Garishi, but she was fun. It was a lot of fun.
No, it's good. I think I also, like, saw someone mention Rage, and I was like, "Well, let me grab that too." So I got
Yeah.
some I got Hell Salamander, I got Rage, I got a couple of Pro Series things, like, this should be okay. And I walked in and I just ran Rage, and I was, like, trying to remember how to flower pattern because that was big back
That
then, like,
Hmm.
that
the
tournament was
slide and
single bay,
shoot.
correct?
Yeah, so I just used that the first time, and then it won, and I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just keep running this," and
Hmm.
somehow ended up in finals, and, I think
Wait, you
Blast
said
was
we were running a single bay tournament?
mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was no other option at the time.
I don't
No,
think
no.
so. Not for ranked.
I forget how long ago it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 2.5 years ago.
Dang, that was a while
Like
ago. Yeah.
it's just
I think it
it's weird. It's weird to think that it was only 2.5 years ago we were stuck on just single bay when it feels
Hmm.
like we've been using 3-on-3 forever.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
yeah, I know, everyone has their complaints and stuff about the way things are now, but, we have come a long way, you gotta remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um
remember single bay was so heavy at that point in time. It does feel like ages ago, like now. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I, like, kinda bumbled my way into Top Cut that tournament, and everyone after that, I kept thinking like, "Man, if I can just get to deck, then I have a chance."
Yeah.
It felt like such a crapshoot to get
Mhm.
up to there where I could use more than one, so it was welcome when we moved to something else. But yeah, after that tournament and some coaching from, Beyblade Blast 11 at the time, who was like, "Let me just help you out here. Even though you're way older than me, you know nothing, you little child." Um,
It was
yeah,
all
after that,
good.
I was hooked and, been doing it ever since. Couple of little breaks here and there just because of life stuff, getting married and whatnot, but,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
been going
Shout
down to your tournaments, going up to Mike's, and started hosting and starting to do that more regularly here, and here we are.
Yeah, shout out again. I know you're not like brand new newlywed, but shout out with your marriage because I don't know. I'm sure I have seen you. Yeah. I've definitely seen you. Yeah, shout
Yeah,
out Richard
it was
Barnes.
last summer, so you've seen me a couple times.
Yeah. I know, like, we bring up that tournament a lot. There were so many people there, Showdown in VA. Like, I met Mike, I met you, I met your wife, who was your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, I think
CS
Jared was there, Sniper was
Jared was
there.
there,
Yep.
Sniper,
Yeah.
Alan
Kirito.
wasn't there.
Kirito was
Richard was
there.
there.
CSC Raymond was
That,
there.
that's
Frost.
right. That was the one where Alan wanted to try to come, even though he had tested positive with COVID like a couple days before. We were like, no.
I was
Yeah.
inside too.
Yeah, because I think that was like the first tournament I had hosted inside in a while, because that was when the restrictions had just got lifted. Or close to around the time when the restrictions got lifted. I think. Don't quote me on that, but it was around that time, because I remember, like, were we wearing masks? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Some
I think
people
we
were.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were wearing masks at that time. Yeah, Blast was there, and I'm pretty sure there were some other people there that are still heavily in the community now, but
CSC Raymond.
Yeah, CSC Raymond. I shouted him out. He was there. He won it overall.
Frost was there.
Yeah, Frost was there.
Do
I
you
don't
still
think
talk to Frost?
so. I haven't talked to Frost in a while. The last I talked to him, family life. He just had his baby girl. Shout out to him and for that. And I think once that came, his priorities had shifted to just tending to his baby girl. I have 4 kids, but I haven't had a baby. And I'll admit, like, if I had a baby right now, it would definitely take me away from doing some things, because I mean, we have our tournaments in the park and things like that, which I would still try to go when I can. But he was hosting, and he's a part of staff, so I get it. I get it. And now I don't. I think, yeah, the last time I talked to him, I think was when X was coming out, and he didn't know how he felt about it. But then we were like, when that transition came to where it was like, okay, there might be a little bit something going on with this. He talked about coming back, but he may or may not. But we'll see. Yeah, that was a while ago. I don't even think Fireblader 07 was playing at that time. I want to say, yeah. I
He
don't
was
think
definitely at the next tournament that I went to down there, which was
Yes.
a couple months later. I think Dynamite had just released like the
Mhm.
week before at the next tournament.
Yeah, I think even if he was out, I don't think he was. I think he's always been heavy into it since he started, but he wasn't as traveling as much. I think he was only going to Frost tournaments in Charlotte. But then, like, once he got more involved, his family got more involved. Now he's like all up and down the East Coast.
It takes a bit to convince your family to drive that many hours. Once
That's what I
again,
was
shout out
thinking.
to you and your family.
Yeah,
Hosting
thank
in
you.
Richmond.
Yeah. It was fun. It was far. I want to do another one. Like, if I've been thinking about this, like, if I do have to like move somewhere far away, or be somewhere where I'm going a lot, I do want to have one more big tournament. And I've been thinking about where I want to have it. It's either I might just do another showdown in VA, because it was so
I
much
was gonna
fun.
say Showdown in VA 2.
Yeah, I think because it's just like, I feel like the best turnout could come there, at least for the community in Maryland, because pretty close with a lot of y'all up there, and then as well from North Carolina, the people that are willing to travel up there. So I think if I did it again, it would be a showdown in VA. Like, yeah, part 2, right up there in Richmond. Hopefully it doesn't get snowed out or anything, but it'll probably be in the springtime, so it'll be good.
Well, you got people here to help you.
I appreciate it. Oh yeah, shout out to you, man. When did you become an organizer? It was a while ago, right?
Yeah, I didn't do with it too much. I got, let's see, I think I had my interview with Shindog like February of
Mm-hmm.
2022. So it's been over a year now. Only managed 2, because I think I got it like a couple months before we got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Managed to like work one in, and then it was just,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how but we're here,
Nice.
we're settled.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found a library that will let me do stuff, and it's worked out, so we'll keep doing it there, I think.
How big is the space?
You saying something, Mike?
I was just gonna say, how much did that cost you for the library?
Libraries are nothing. It's
Oh,
public.
really?
Yeah. You just got to get in there soon enough. Yeah, it's basically just about the same as using a public park. You know, if you were going to make like a pavilion reservation, you just got to let them know ahead of time, and you know, they got to look it over and approve it. But I've done 2 libraries so far, and you got to find the right room because often it's like 30 cap.
Yeah.
Part of why mine haven't gone above 16. But yeah, it works out just fine. It's pretty great. You got bathrooms there. Pretty sick.
It's
Wow.
pretty dope.
I didn't know it was free.
I mean,
I didn't know that either.
I'm sure it varies from like, you know, city to city. But
Yeah.
yeah, here in Richmond, totally. It's like
That's-
any
Wow.
like nonprofit can do it. And so I just say that we're, you know, we're not officially a 501c3, but I just say River City Beyblade nonprofit community group. And they're like, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Put on something for the kids.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, we had to. I think I tried to host in a library one time, but I can't remember why I didn't. But I know all our parks, so they're free if you can get there and no one's there. But if you want to reserve it, you have to pay. So I just always go ahead and pay because I don't. Majority of the time, people have to travel. They're traveling far, just because our community is pretty spread out. So I don't want to get there, and sometimes it's only like one picnic shelter, and we're not able to get it. So I just go ahead and pay, but it's not too expensive.
Yeah, I knew you all used to run into that in Maryland a bit, you know, fighting the birthday parties.
Oh yeah, they did. I think they still do. I think in Martin Luther King Park is where they play at. Um, heck yeah, man. So, what? How did your first tournament go? Was it last year or was it this year?
First tournament was end of last year, and I mean, I ran it in name. Mike came down. He he helped put it into gear.
Okay.
I was there and I did the spreadsheets, and Mike really helped. But yeah, the whole Maryland crew came down, and yeah, we're still doing burst, and so I was able to get out some of my friends' kids. You know, some of my dudes from the music scene. They brought their kids. Everybody had a great time, and it went fairly smoothly. I just, man, I can't wait for X to hit here so that
Mhm.
I don't have to tell my friends that their kids like Hasbro Beyblades aren't going to do much for them. And B, I don't have
Yeah.
to say, well, it's not out yet. Go order it
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Fortunately, at this last one, which kind of felt like a first one again, because Mike had to work.
Yeah.
so didn't have any of the Maryland crew.
Yeah.
But fortunately, everybody came with X stuff. We had a good age spread. I mean, down from probably like 7 to, you know, mid 30s.
Mhm.
And we had a couple of people there. Shout out to, man, I'm gonna butcher your username. I'm so sorry, Danny Leohar.
Oh.
He helped judge, and Jellybean helped judge.
Oh, Jellybean came.
Jellybean 24, yeah.
Is he from Rich? I think he's is he from Virginia?
They're from Virginia, but they're right on the line with North Carolina.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's another like 2 hours.
Okay.
But yeah, I have to admit, it almost went terribly because, as you know, because I called you in a panic, we started the tournament off
It's
and
all
I
good.
left it on
Yeah.
single elimination
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
9 people.
Yeah.
And you know, 20 minutes later, I was like, wow, I guess we're done. I don't know what happened. So we started over and did it the
Yeah.
right way.
Yeah.
But man, shout out to X, still finished before 3. Even
Yeah.
after running an entire tournament the wrong way, we started over, we did it right, and
Yeah.
yeah, it
Still
went
got
great.
done pretty quick. Yeah.
Oh,
I do love X because. Oh, go ahead. You want to say
no,
something?
you're good.
Yeah, I do love X because of that. Like, it's so much faster than Burst was, especially when Burst got like heavy into the LAD with drift, bearing drift. Um, hey, what
Yeah.
happened?
You disconnected.
Yeah, we lost you, buddy.
Oh my goodness. All right, what was the last thing y'all heard?
I don't know.
Badoop.
We're talking about Taco Bell.
Oh my God, for real?
We're talking about Taco Bell. I don't know what the four of us or the three of us.
I probably just had a 2-minute conversation by myself. I was just talking instead of texting.
I love those.
All right, is Craig still in here?
Craig's here,
Craig's been in here the whole time.
Okay.
He now knows you have Taco Bell.
Craig looks scared.
Yeah, Craig's nervous. For y'all that don't know, Craig is our chat bot that does the recording for us. I was just saying with your tournament that because I know you were hard on yourself, but it's like, dude, I still call Mike to this day when I have tournaments. I hit up Mike, I hit up Shindog, whoever, if I run into any issues. I just ran a tournament. Well, my last tournament, it was small, so I had to do what was it? It was round robin, and I forgot how many just go into finals because I haven't been on WBO in forever, but there's just so many rule books. And sometimes, like when we're playing, I don't feel like spending 20 to 30 minutes trying to find a specific rule or like a way to play. So I'm like, look, let me just hit up my buddy. But I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah, it was great. It got me really excited. Like, we had a few people coming from like West Virginia, North Carolina, but for the most part, it was people like 15 minutes away from me that are like, wow, like I always drive 3 hours to Baltimore or 3 hours down to someplace in North Carolina. And like, that's cool, but like, it's really nice to go a few minutes up the road. So I think we've got the makings of a scene here. We had a couple of new people that had never played, but like they're hooked. So I think it's gonna be good. I think I'll try and run them every month or two, and it should work out.
That's good.
That is dope. What was I about to say? I don't know, but it is dope. What was the turnout for your first one?
We had 14 people and nobody dropped, which was pretty crazy. We had a cap of 16 for the second one. 9 showed up. I think it was 14 said yes, but 9 showed up. So
that's
nothing
my fault.
too crazy. It was your fault. Yeah. Yeah.
That's still a good turnout, though.
I think you had like 4 or 5 people that were gonna like ride with you or something, and they're like, never mind.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
That's still a good turnout. Even with the 9 people, sometimes with like the smaller tournaments, I like them a whole lot more because it's a little bit more camaraderie instead of a whole lot of chaos. Like it's definitely great to have more people there because sometimes it gets a little bit more intense. But when it's just a shorter crowd, it's like the group is a little bit closer knit and everything's like solid and fine. Yeah.
We did have a few people come out that weren't playing. They had just like hit me up and been like, "Hey, can I come watch? Like I've never seen a Beyblade tournament before." And they showed up just to see. I mean, I hope they were interested. Maybe they'll come back next time. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that since I've been hosting as well. And I always invite them and let them come out. I was saying, I wasn't thinking about the holiday season. I forgot about it because I don't go home until Christmas Day. So I was going to try to reschedule because I know Michael's working like for a long time today. But when I said Sunday, he was like, "Oh, that's Christmas Eve," and I wasn't even thinking about that because I was going to be here. So around this time of year, things are busy and things are chaotic, but it does slow down. I think from Christmas through New Year's, we get a little bit more family time.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Heck
More
yeah.
time to try and coax our family members to play Beyblade with us.
Yeah, 100%. I do want to ask this, and I hope my phone doesn't cut out because it's something I want to talk about. Just hop away from Beyblade for a second. Your question regarding anime, unless y'all had another heavy topic for Beyblade right now. I do have more Beyblade questions in the near future, but
I did want to hear from Mike. I'm ready to talk about the anime stuff, but I do want to hear from Crisis about how the last Maryland tournament went. Our last couple, I guess. I think the one I went to was actually a couple behind at this point, wasn't it?
You came to the Grand Prix, right?
Yeah, Grand Prix qualifier.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. We didn't have one the last week because of your tournament. But yeah, no. Honestly, it's really bad because our local community, we are now so used to playing with the 3-on-3 2v2, our best 2 out of 3 for the finals, that when we did the ranked X tournament for the qualifier, it just felt so bad when people would like win or lose off of the random like extreme that shouldn't have happened or something.
Right.
Why did y'all do it? Why'd y'all do it that way then?
Because it's ranked.
Is rank working?
Yeah. Well, you can still make something ranked, but even if so, like if you made it ranked, you still have to follow the WBO things, even if the Beyblade X ranking system isn't up yet.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking, and this is probably me being super negative, but are they going to get it working? Like, have there been any talks on that?
They've started
it
processing
is.
stuff again, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So far, just for Burst and Metal Fight.
Okay, not X yet.
No.
But it's progress. We're up through June of this year. So, getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. Then my bad, and I cut you off. But yeah, it does seem like it's a feel bad moment if people were used to it, and then it just turns into kind of like single elimination.
Yeah, I'd really like to come and try that new format y'all have been doing, because I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. I mean, I'm only been to a certain number of Beyblade X tournaments at this point, so I'm still liking the 3-on-3 for finals. But yeah, I'd be really interested to try that thing you all are doing.
Yeah, every single one of us that come and play every week, like we had players that came, like TSO. She doesn't come every week, so she's never even played the way we play the format yet. All of us that have been playing it that way, it just felt so wrong to play X with just standard 3-on-3 for finals, just because like me and Dragreus had to play in top 8, and just random, like we launched, his Beyblade hit mine into the rail, and I just whoop right into the extreme finish, and that was just it. Like that was the end of the game. He won because he already had a point.
Yeah,
feels bad.
Yeah, so it's just like that feels bad. But when you know you're doing like the best 2 out of 3, you're like, okay, well that's one game where like the luck factor was really terrible on my side. Now we can have another game where we can see where we go.
Well, let me ask you this. So, like, I get how doing the best 2 out of 3 times 3, I guess, best 2 out of 3, 4 points.
We call it 3-on-3, best 2 out of 3.
Okay, that makes sense. So I get that, how that's like expands it a bit. Now, would you ever want to do like traditional quote unquote WBO deck with X, or was that just kind of like silly because the counters aren't quite as obvious?
So exactly. Because right now the pool of like parts is so low, because that's where everything really came up, because we were trying to find out what would be the best way of playing X that, you know, doesn't feel like it's just so random. And we were talking about it, and when we brought up deck format, and we're like, well, there's no like actual counter picking right now. There probably will never be actual counter picking in Beyblade X, just because of how it fundamentally works. Like, it's just like those random KOs and stuff are going to happen way too much. The recoil is way too intense. So deck format is just really weird. Like, deck format is going to, like, right now, if you play deck format, it'll pretty much devolve into either you use like a Shark Edge combo the entire time, or you're using Hell Scythe on ball the entire time. Like that is your deck right now. Like
that makes sense.
You wouldn't even play any of your other 2 combos.
That not to cut y'all off, but that was one of my questions. Like, I just throw it in there. How has the what is the meta like right now? Like, has it become a little bit less random? Is it more strategic? Like, what's going on right now?
So
You
okay,
talk about up there.
Yeah.
Up here,
Oh,
bro.
well, even at your tournament, like, how did you feel about it, Garishi? Like,
Start, Mike.
Yeah.
You want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so metas obviously metas obviously are different in different regions. Just like back in Burst, where you had people thinking Moment was a good driver.
It was good
So
for
anyway.
a little bit.
Shade.
No, it was not good for a little bit. That driver was just always bad. it had this weird moment where it was like, okay, this is kind of good, and then you put it up against Bearing, and you're just like, oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so bad. But no, so every place has different metas. Like, I talk to Bobby Lawler all the time, and he tells me how down there in North Carolina, most of the people are just playing a bunch of attack.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Interesting.
But then if you look at like my core group up here, and we're all actually doing a lot of topping, we mostly are stamina. Once again, we use ball in orbit and then an attacker, and it generally works out really well. Geetster is like the only one that has been having trouble. Like, he ends up against someone that's just playing 3 attackers, and he just completely loses out just because, like, against 3 attackers, the probability of your stuff getting extreme finish is higher, obviously. And at one extreme finish in the switch rounds, because in the first stage, we still just do regular 3-on-3. So he's like getting paired up against people that are playing 3 attack types and just getting KO'd and losing. So he can never make it the finals to do better. But when he does make it the finals, he actually does really good. I think he just won the last.
That's wild. Why did it have a reason why he's doing better in finals? I was gonna first I was thinking like, oh, deck, but is he just like, does he change up his strategy, or it just works out for him?
No, it's because now he's playing against players that are actually using like other diverse decks. It's not just straight 3 attack Beyblade.
Oh, okay.
So like if he played against the same person with 3 attack Beyblades, best 2 out of 3, he probably has a higher chance at winning then, because it gives him more time to adjust his launching strategy because he learns how they're launching. But just the first initial one, it's hard to figure anything out with X because extreme finish is 3 points and then that one other point and it's over.
Yeah.
So like figuring out your opponent's strategies and like their launch patterns and everything is really hard to do with X because it's so quick and fast. So that's where like the 3-on-3 best 2 out of 3, you can do that. It's a lot more ready, like availability to figure out, okay, my opponent likes to launch like this. My opponent likes to launch in that area. My opponent likes this side of the stadium. You get to learn all of that off of the first match.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get into your second match where you can adjust accordingly. And now that you're on the winning side, your opponent can do the same thing. So then you get into that third match generally, which can be a real, like, intense match.
Yeah.
Have you tried the 7 points?
We didn't try the 7 points or anything, and the main reason why was just because we wanted to keep it as close to Karatomi's way of playing as possible. Like, the way we saw this, we're just expanding to Karatomi's way of playing, of just adding in, you have to play a full set of 3, basically, to get a win, rather than it just being 1. Like, I don't want to, the WBO has been great, but I just feel like we shouldn't be, like, dividing ourselves too far from how Takara Tomy wants to play, like, says the game should be played. They're designing these Beyblades based off of how they say to play the game. Like, there's actually a lot of, like, negativity drawn towards X because of the lack of, like, how it feels that there's any like it feels more luck based and random than competitive. So then people just like complain about it rather than trying to see, what is really holding X back. Same thing happened with Burst. When Burst came out, people didn't like it. They complained about it. Why can't this play more like Metal Fight? Now we have why can't X play more like Burst? So
yeah.
It makes me think. I think I don't know how many episodes ago it was. You said X is more random. This was you, Mike. I'm pretty sure you said
yeah,
X is more random. However, if you look at like the experienced players, it's like any given person, it might be more 50-50 whether they win or lose. But the more experienced people, that's going to shift more to 60 or 70. And I definitely saw that in my tournament. The people that didn't know anything about Beyblade or were just weaker, below 50. The people that were
yeah,
just like fine, 50-50. And the people who really know what they were doing over the long haul won more. And so I guess what you're saying with the rather than changing the point system to artificially elongate the match, you just want to have more matches so that it gives a chance for that, like, how to say it, like that average to settle in at the
yeah.
higher win rate. I think that makes
Right.
sense.
Like, because the thing is too is like when you do the same format, but you're just adding on two extra matches or two extra matches depending on how it goes. You get to think of different things like how is your deck gonna perform? Like if you're just running three attackers and you realize, yeah, I can do really good if it's just the one time 3-on-3 beat, but once my opponent learns where I'm launching, it can become game over for me.
Mhm.
You have to kind of evolve as a player to play it that way then. And I just feel like it just shows a little bit more strategy to the game as well as you get better. Like the more you play, you get better. So
I think I'm really intrigued to hear about the stamina game because like I said, I haven't hosted in a while, I haven't been around it in a while. But I was starting to see a little bit of like, if you want to call it defense, you can call it defense. But that's a little bit more of what I was trying to play the last time I did host a tournament. Because I was seeing, like stamina and defense, like it was doing something. If you're not getting KO'd initially, um, then you're good to go. And in that aspect, if people were looking for something like burst, it is there, but you also have to respect that X is its own game.
yeah,
It's going to be played a little bit differently. But to me, it was just an eye opener of being like, this isn't. I mean, it does have randomness, but we also have to think that we have such a limitation of parts. But I think for the long haul of this game, it is going to, I think, produce a lot more than we are expecting or that even people are thinking right now. I
yeah.
think it's just heavy bashing right now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I've said it many times before. With X, they designed these Beyblades in a way where they can completely change how X is played.
Hmm.
Like, they could literally make bits that don't have the gears on them and make a
Mhm.
whole different stadium if they wanted.
They could.
Yeah, I
Like,
think gear ratio is gonna be the next big thing. I
yeah,
think we're kinda like you said at the beginning of Burst with, like, single bays, and it's like, wow, the game is so much about bursting. I think that's kinda where we are in X right now, and it's gonna look very different a year or 2 from now.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued on what this UX stuff is.
What is that? Oh, hold on. Before we hop on that, Garishi, how was your meta, and what were some things that you were thinking?
So down here, it's just been one tournament, but there was definitely a lot of stamina. Um, there was a lot of Hell Scythe and Hell's Chain, actually. More Hell Scythe and Hell's Chain than like Hell Scythe with Night Shield. Viper Tail was pretty popular. But whereas I think up in Maryland, and this is what I was using, people might put Viper Tail on taper. They were putting it on point down here. Um, there was also a good bit of Knight Lance used both as like stationary attacker as well as like proper attacker. Like we're putting it on attack bits too. So that kind of mixed things up a bit.
Mhm.
I think the thing that's interesting about stamina is that given how high speed and high impact and high recoil everything is, and that most people are using ripcord launchers, which really just open the gates for how hard you can launch, people I think are starting to realize that they really need to watch burst risk all the time,
Yeah.
regardless of type. There were a lot of stamina matches that were won by bursts just because someone was going too hard.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I do not use a ripcord launcher. I use a string launcher.
I haven't found the
Yeah.
balance yet. I tend to use ripcord more, but because I don't think I've found the confidence yet for the string, because I want to lean more into that stronger launch. But yeah, it definitely bit me a few times.
The whole reason why I like the string launcher more, like I acknowledge that it is less powerful of a launch compared to the ripcord, but your placement is 10 times better with a string launcher than with a ripcord launcher. You can accurately pinpoint where your Beyblade is going to land with that compared to the ripcord launcher.
I will say one thing about launching. We had a couple of younger kids at this tournament, and I would say in the past that like physical strength didn't really matter, because even for attacking, like in burst or Bakutan or metal fight, like you kind of want to move back a little bit and not launch it too hard. Um,
Yeah.
for X, I think there is definitely a floor of launch strength. And there were some kids that were just not winning because like they weren't even launching hard enough to get to the rails. Whereas if there was
Yeah.
burst, something like an opposite spin match, which happened a lot, kids, there was no physical strength floor. They could just get in there and beat anyone just based on tuning or combos. But I think for X, it is a little bit more. It's interesting. You don't want to go too high, but you definitely can't be too low with this version of the game.
Yeah. That makes it makes a whole lot more sense. But it's whenever I hear things like that, I think about the design with it and why my hopes are still pretty high. And honestly, I think I was disappointed only like initially, but as the game went on, I'm not, because the factor, like even with the ad, we saw the adults were playing as well. They have adult leagues and kids leagues in Japan. Um, did they have like an adult like finals or something? When are they supposed to do that this month?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the G1
For
And
adult for
that family, I think you follow them. I forget what the dad's handle is, but I think you follow them. Stay cool.
Yeah, is it is it Mirai?
I think
Mirai?
so. I
Yeah.
forget. There are two Beyblade families from Japan that I follow, and I know
Mhm.
that one of them has like a daughter that's playing now, and she entered the Open, which is includes adults, but it's basically all ages. And I think she took third or fourth, and she was like
Yeah, that's
7, and I was like, "That's it. That's awesome."
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely Mirai. Because he has I saw his little sister was playing now, and I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, so I haven't been. I need to get back up on my stuff. I've been stressed out lately, but it'll get there. It'll get there. But that is pretty dope. I didn't. I don't think I played against any little kids or anything like that, but I did hear about the placement as far as with the string launcher. But I do not have a string launcher.
Yeah. Real quickly, James, if I find it again, I saw a video literally this morning. There's this guy. He just recently started a Beyblade channel on YouTube. He lives in Japan and speaks English, so it's
Send
really
that my
good
way.
because you can actually understand what he's talking about. And he had went to the G1 event, and he got a little bit of filming. He filmed the finals, and he shows it. Man, that is what a tournament needs to look like.
I want to see it. Yeah, I definitely got to see it.
Yeah, I
You
will.
send it to me. I'll
It to
post it
you.
in this. I'll post it in when we post this. I'll put it up in the comment section.
Yeah, no problem. I was like, wow. Takara told me that this is, bring this here, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Has
Like,
there
I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
I will kick WBO to the curb if, Hasbro starts doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what did I want to say? Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Were you done, Garishi?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I wanted to. Well, first I want to ask the BXUX. What is that? What is that like about? You might have explained it to me before. I just don't remember.
It's you know how the abbreviation for the Beyblades right now is like BX001.
Mm-hmm.
The March release is all UX001, 002. Whatever it is, we don't know yet. We'll probably know in like January, maybe February. So
Okay.
It
once we
seems
know,
like
we'll
a
know.
sub-series.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a sub-series or if it's like maybe the next evolution of the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. BXUX. It might be. It could be a little spin with what, because we had a series. What was the last one? Dynamite and Dynamite BU.
Yeah, DB, and then it was just BU.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be something like that. I don't think it'll be like night and day unless they're getting a lot of negative feedback. But if their community, like you said, they're having a big turnout like that, and I got to watch the video to see how much fun people are having. And
The
well,
G1,
have you seen?
the G1 tournament was 500 players.
Hey, grief.
Dang.
500
Dang.
players.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot.
That sounds so cool. I'm 32.
Yeah.
I want to go do that.
Where's the WBO tournament equivalent? Where is it?
Yeah.
There's probably 500 active, maybe 500 active players. There's probably not even that, like across the world for WBO.
Dang. Yeah. That's pretty dope. I haven't I didn't even know like well, I did know stuff like that was going on, but for it to be so hype on X already, but they said and they are delivering. So I guess my next one, I asked this I think every episode, but I know you stay on top of stuff, Mike. Has there been the word is they're coming out here next summer, right? Or the products are releasing here next summer, correct?
It's like end of summer, beginning of fall. Basically the
Okay.
same time everything was coming out in Japan. It should be coming out over here just a year later.
Okay.
I think we're getting the anime with it too. So we're a year behind on the anime. Like that's pretty much what I think they were just waiting for. They're waiting to just have the anime have enough episodes, localize the anime, and then because the anime is the like it's the commercial, it's the advertisement for it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Man,
that's like our locals have been seeing like less players. But it's like I said, one, it's the holiday season, and two, we're in Beyblade X now. Like, it's not here in America yet for all the little kids to like really see it and be like, "Oh my god, Beyblade X! I'm hyped. I want to go play."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I struggle a little bit. I guess it makes sense. Like you said, like the anime is the commercial. But the way that they're rolling that out in Japan right now, like the anime is about to overtake the manga.
Yep.
Like it's going so quickly. It's gonna overtake it and go ahead of it. So I wonder if it's going to start doing its own storyline, or are they just gonna stop the manga after season 1? I'm pretty confused. I've only been reading the manga, but I see people drop like episode reviews on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I mean, I just read that last month in
Mm.
the last chapter. Are they gonna get ahead of it? But I guess they're putting it out there so they can get the big commercial out.
Yeah, that is a big commercial because we don't.
Yeah.
Once we have that, then our big commercial will start rolling around. Well, not the manga, but the whatchamacall, the anime.
James, have you read the manga at all?
No, I haven't read any manga. I'm not a big reader.
Gotcha.
I've only read like a few mangas, even in other animes. And the reason why is like if I read the manga, I would not watch the anime because
Okay.
I've always been like that. It like spoils it for me, so I just don't get into it. Unfortunately, but that's just how it is.
Well, I will say, like, it's definitely still like I mean, I've got the original Beyblade manga. Like, it's always like for kids, but man,
Mhm.
having an artist that is like already a like highly respected manga artist, like, I mean, I think you all have mentioned this before. It's the same one from Promise Neverland.
Yeah,
Makes a huge difference. Like,
yeah.
it feels almost like, oh man, people are gonna hate me for this. It feels a little bit like Star Wars, where it's like, wow, like it's this high production value for something that's like pretty simple and like definitely like at a level where kids can enjoy it. It's like a little bit aimed at kids. That's how the manga feels for me. I was like,
Hmm.
this is so good, even though it's just a commercial for Spinny Tops. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I've
dope.
been enjoying the anime.
You've been enjoying the anime?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
I gotta find a way to watch it.
I had a it wasn't shoot, it might be illegal, I don't know. But you could change your you
The
could
VPN.
yeah, change your VPN. That's how I used to watch a lot of well, that's how I watched all the Dynamite and everything when it was coming out. It costs money though. I don't have the
Mhm.
anymore, but it was something I changed my VPN to be able to watch it, but I haven't seen the anime. Um I'm not gonna lie to you. I know I'm not gonna check out the manga, but I will watch the anime, especially with my kids, because they enjoyed it. I mean, that's what got us all into it in the first place. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Do you want to move into talking about anime in general?
Do we have anything else for BX?
Nah, really.
Yeah. Is any what is did that anything new coming out? Any new products that feel like it's gonna be meta changing or people are hyped to get?
Phoenix and Wyvern. Both of them are going to be meta changing. I can tell you that right now.
Phoenix. Well, did I just see right that like I thought that the Phoenix blade that was coming with Korokoro was just a recolor, but I
No,
was
it's different.
reading some reviews. Yeah, it's different. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
it's Phoenix Feather, and the one that we're getting is what, Phoenix Flame.
Phoenix Wing, I think.
Yeah, Phoenix Wing is the mass release from like that you can buy at the store. Phoenix Feather is the one that you have to buy the Korokoro to get. It's kind of like less jaggy, kind of like as if it was trying to. Do you remember in the manga, Bird's original Beyblade?
Mm-hmm.
It looks more like that. It looks
Hmm.
very close to that Strike Hawk than like Phoenix. Like it, I just kind of feel like it's supposed to basically just be their version of it's Strike Hawk. Like it's the same thing.
Has that popped up in the anime yet? Because it's hit the manga.
No, they did not put Strike Hawk in the anime.
I meant the Phoenix stuff.
I think it just showed up in this week's episode. I haven't watched it yet. So
one of them is like also in the story is more of a general release, and one of them is exclusive. So that's kind of fun. They mirrored that in real life.
yeah.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else for BX. I think like the new releases, we're going over the meta. I think the heavier topics will be once I I think we've been talking about this for a while. Once a meta really gets set, and the game is a whole lot more balanced. Not only that, once we start having some like when you have your big DMV tournament, if a World Cup. Oh, has there been any talk of a World Cup coming back on or no?
Nope.
No. All right. So if something like that happens again, then um, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, man, we can hop into anime. We can hop into the gaming life. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to you, Mike, about Lorcana. I haven't talked to Mike since I think our last podcast episode, other than a couple texts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while, but yeah, anime. So your question was, how do we feel about?
I can repeat it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I don't know if any of you have noticed, but as anime just continues to get more and more popular over here in America specifically, but also just like English speaking countries, we're getting more and more anime that's like, is it anime? Like we just had a new Scott Pilgrim show here, and
Yeah, yeah. I
it's
mean,
written, directed, produced by Americans, and it's
yeah.
made for an American audience, but it's being produced by a Japanese animation studio. And
Hmm.
so, like, when they first announced, they're like, "Oh, new anime coming out." I was like, "Wait, there's an
What?
anime for Scott Pilgrim?" I didn't even know that like that was popular in Japan. I was like, "Oh, wait, it's kind of half and half." But then I'm also seeing more stuff that like Netflix is doing, and like maybe they're not using Japanese animators. I'm seeing more independent projects come up. Like
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
I saw this church online advertising a new like Bible anime, but they were just doing
What
it themselves. And I like commented, I was like, is this anime if y'all are just doing
is?
it in like Georgia? And they were like, anime is just a style, man. And I was like, is
Oh,
it?
so
So I just feel like there's this wave of like, are we calling anime anything that's like Japanese styled, or what? How are we defining this? And I just wanted to get y'all's
So
thoughts on that.
you
the
go ahead,
the
Mike. 'Cause I
the
got
way
some.
the way I see it is this is because we're all old boys now.
Yeah,
It when we were growing up, anime was literally just Japanese imported cartoons.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that's what they were. To
And it
our
wasn't
parents,
cool.
right? To our
It wasn't
parents,
cool.
they see us watching an anime and they're like, "Why are you watching cartoons?"
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
like, "It's not cartoons, it's anime. It's a
Hmm.
cartoon." That was like the argument you had with your parents as a teenager watching anime. Now anime has completely like changed. Like the it's not like a taboo type thing anymore where it's like it's not just a cartoon. People understand now this is different.
Yeah, it's huge.
And yeah, and so it has blown up, especially now that we are older and we are the adults.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in our 30s and all of us love anime. Like we might not have the time to watch it as much as like we did when we were kids, but that doesn't mean we don't respect anime still and still be like, oh, okay, it's an anime. That's cool.
yeah,
I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to knock it. But that's basically how we see it now. And
yeah,
so our kids, you know, growing up with nerd parents that loved anime has doubled the amount of like people that interest the like teens and kids whose interest is in it. So
hmm,
the amount has doubled. So now it's become more mainstream, and now companies are going to capitalize on that.
yeah, yeah. I
Kind of weird. It's kind of
I
weird.
yeah, yeah. I 100% agree with Mike. I do think it is a heavy wave right now. Companies are going to capitalize on it. It's like anything, man. It's like shoot, even when I hop on social media, if I click on one video like a skateboarding video, I'm not into it, but they think I like it, they'll just push all that to me. They'll push the ads and things like that. So I think I agree with you as well. Like Scott Pilgrim, when you said that, in my mind, I was like, dude, that's not an anime, that's a movie. And then when I got on Netflix, I saw the anime for it, and I was like, this is what he's talking about. I was like, that's wild. Like, did it have a manga?
It's a comic.
Scott Pilgrim originally is an American comic that they made a
Oh,
movie out of it, and now they're having Japan animators make a cartoon based on the movie, based on the American comic, but written by Americans.
yeah. So I'll see like when I'm on Netflix, I'll see like Netflix originals. Like I just actually watched this anime. I didn't do too much of a backstory on it. I want to shout it out, but then I don't because it is not for kids.
Okay.
Um, I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But if you go on Netflix and you're looking up animes, it came out I think earlier this year. Um, it's
I might know
about
what you're talking
Yeah, man, I watched it the other day, and have you seen
It
it?
literally just came up. I opened Netflix as the first thing suggested to me.
Have you watched it?
No, my friend's been telling me to. My over
Oh my,
30 friends who are not minors.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey,
Like, and you'll see from the first, I think the first episode, first or second episode, you like, because like anime is anime. Like you might see some different and raunchy stuff on it, but to
mhm.
me, and I don't know who made the anime. Like, it's got a good story, but it's like I feel like sometimes when people are making like animes, if they don't fully understand the culture, like they just go. I'm trying to think of a good. They just go head over heels, like a little bit too deep, to where it's like, man, like it is an anime, but this is also kind of like how this is okay to even just have up there. It's good, but it's just like it's wild. So I do think it's a wave. I think like companies and businesses are just pushing it because people are gonna watch it, and then you have like kids who maybe not even involved in anime, but they want to be cool because their friends are doing it because it's a cool thing to do. So they're just gonna click on any anime just to talk about it. Um, I'm not one of the salty like old school anime guys that are just like, I used to get picked on for watching this and now it's a cool thing. So forget all you kids. No, I'm actually happy that it is spreading, but it is like, I don't know. I do get into a little bit of debates about it, but I like what I like. I still watch the shows that I watch. If something else new comes on that I find decent, like I like it, but I don't know. I see both sides. It definitely is a heavy wave though.
You know what's so funny? I just search it on Google, and the first like suggested question that comes up is samurai an anime, and you click on it. It's like, yeah, it's made by French Canadian animation house.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
So it's not even made in Japan.
no. So this is what I'm
Okay.
talking about. It's interesting. It's an interesting time. I'm
The
not
Man,
entirely
it,
sure how I feel about it, but it's
the
interesting.
thing is that the term anime has evolved since when we were young. That's
yeah.
what's really going on. Now anime is just probably anything that is foreign to you, like an animation cartoon that is foreign to wherever you are from.
Yeah. I
I guess like
I'm not
people
gonna lie,
talking.
like
Go ahead.
I would love to make an anime, but I think I've always saw animes as they had their specific styles. I think when we were kids, part of the genre of anime we watched, it was like, the big eyes, like in Dragon Ball Z.
Mhm.
Because I remember drawing those. Like it was like that in Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Like they had different art styles, but you could tell from the eyes and just the way that the faces were drawn, like, hey, this is an anime. And a lot of the content as well. It was for kids, but it was also like, they had a few curse words in there, um, a little bit of fighting, a little bit of blood, like things like that. I tell you, Blue Eye Samurai is on a whole nother level though. Like you can tell, like this is borderline like um I this word I won't say, but like the anime that starts with an H.
Yep.
That's like, yeah, that Blue Eye Samurai is a little bit on that level.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But it's like it's I respect, I guess, people that they want to get into it and join into it, but I'm still old school. I had my kids watch Dragon Ball Z. Um Not Dragon Ball. I know people like probably be like, "Oh, you did it backwards," but Dragon Ball was a little bit raunchy, and I got little
Yeah,
girls,
for sure.
so it's like,
Master
no, I didn't.
Roshi needs to chill.
That's
Yeah.
bro. He definitely needs to chill. So it's like I have little girls, so I definitely didn't start them off with Dragon Ball. My baby girl, she's always like, "Let's watch. I want to see Goku. I want to see Goku." I'm like, "No, you can watch Dragon Ball when you get older. You're not watching it right now. We'll watch Dragon Ball Z, and we'll call it that." Um, Yu Yu Hakusho, because my I watched Dragon Ball Z. I think when I was in this like second grade, because my friends told me about it before I went to school, and that was the first anime I watched. Dragon Ball Z was for the boys. Sailor Moon was for the girls, and like coming up, like that's just how it was when it would come on. And then as I got a little bit older, Toonami. And I think everyone from our generation, did y'all watch Toonami?
Love Toonami.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Toonami is what opened our eyes up, and I feel like I think that generation or like that era are a lot of the parents that we have now, and like me, like bringing up our kids in anime. But I stick to certain genres. I will look at certain things as like, I like it or I don't like it, but I do feel like anime is getting slapped onto a lot of shows now. For good or for bad, I don't know. That church thing you said was pretty funny though. Trying to
That's
get
funny.
out to the yeah.
I mean, there was a legit anime like that way back when. I don't know if you remember Wonder Book. It was like from the 80s. I remember seeing that as a kid, and it was like basically like Scooby-Doo, but they were running through the Bible. And it was like really, really low quality 80s anime. So I mean, they could always just do that instead of make their own. Go find that.
That just sounds so bad.
Speaking
I'll
on
find a picture of it to you.
Just one more thing. I know, like my buddy hit me up. Y'all know it was or it was like the box office movies, and like the highest one. Have y'all seen The Boy and I think it's The Boy and the Heron?
I'm going to see it on Christmas Day. My wife and
You
I are
are?
so excited. I've tried to know as little as possible, but like problematic as he might be sometimes because he's a grumpy old man, we worship Miyazaki.
So I don't know anything about it either. But it was number one, I think, in the world. Because it was in the box office number one. My buddy hit me up about it because he knows I watch a lot of anime. I don't know anything about it, but I'll probably end up watching that on Christmas Day too. Is it in theaters or can you like stream it?
It's in theaters right now, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm probably not gonna go to the theaters, but I will stream it, I guess, whenever it is available. But I heard it's got to be pretty good. It was the number one. But yeah, man, I do love my anime. You don't watch as much, do you, Mike? You read more manga or?
No, I just don't really have the time that I used to watch anime.
Yeah. Okay, so I lied a little bit. There are a couple of mangas that I have read. The manga that I did read and what stopped me from reading manga was Naruto Shippuden. I read all of that, and I didn't watch Naruto Shippuden. I recently just watched it with my kids, and that's kind of what put me off just from reading manga because I enjoy watching it more than anything. Like I watched Dragon Ball Super. I know people have opinions about that, like they hate it or whatever, this and that. I love Super. Y'all like Super or no?
Haven't seen it yet. I honestly stopped watching Dragon Ball. Like I watched the entire thing all the way up to I think Cell, and I was like, this has been a lot of weeks. I need to take a break, and then I just haven't gotten back to it because I didn't get to it till I was an adult.
Yeah, yeah. It's you watch it, Mike?
Dragon Ball Super?
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing as it was coming out.
Did you like it or no?
There are things I like and things I don't like. I will say one thing. I will never forget the day Goku went Ultra Instinct Signs and the internet broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will never forget that. I remember waking up that morning, like ready to watch the episode because I knew it would come out overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just anything you went to try to watch it just did not work.
Yeah.
Any anime streaming site or anything was just broke.
Yeah.
Because the traffic volume of trying to watch that episode was so huge. And it was a well done episode. It was really good.
Yeah. With Super, I personally love Super, and I guess because Dragon Ball Z will always be the most goated show to me because people may disagree, but Dragon Ball Z was the show that I felt like introduced America to anime to where the majority of us fell in love. Yes, there are animes that came out ahead of time, but Dragon Ball Z is what brought us in. Goku is what brought us in, and kept us hooked. You know, we all wanted to be Super Saiyans. We all wanted to.
It was Speed Racer, man.
No way.
Yo, the singer for my band, his favorite is still to this day. It's a certain adaptation of Astro Boy. He's like, nope, doesn't get better than that. I was like, wow, this is some 1940s stuff right there.
So I didn't watch Astro Boy, but Astro Boy was pretty popular. Like it was really hype. Like
Yeah.
And when it came out, even to this day, I think it's like regarded as one of the best animes ever written. Yeah,
it is up there on the Mount, not a Mount Olympus, Mount Rushmore.
yeah. But Dragon Ball. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say now I just, thanks to all this talk, I just can't get the old like 90s Speed Racer out of my head where like he talks for like 2 minutes and then it's just
Yeah. You know, I gotta rewatch it because I've been seeing a lot of memes about Speed Racer to where he was just like pretty much a jerk. And as a kid, you know, you don't get the same, you don't see things as you do as an adult.
Yeah.
So I want to watch it now as an adult and see like, damn, Speed was really an asshole, you know.
You better stop crying because it won't do you any good.
Yeah, that's what I keep seeing. It's like you got a lot of work to do, and you better start crying because yeah. So I need to watch it now as an adult. But with Dragon Ball Z, I think that was the thing because I grew up with it. Wanted to be super. When Goku went Super Saiyan, that was epic, you know. And this is coming from a time we didn't have Netflix, we didn't have YouTube. You had to watch. I had to wake up every single morning early to try to watch it, and sometimes you get the next episode, sometimes it would start back over and Raditz is coming to Earth. You make it to Vegeta, and then you're waiting for the next episode so the whole Namek arc can start, but no, it starts right back over and Raditz is coming. So it took years. It took years before like I actually got to saw Goku go Super Saiyan over here in the US. So watching all that and being dedicated, so Super to me felt like I was sharing my childhood 100% with my kids because sometimes when I show them the older animes, they don't really like the art style or the way things were, so it doesn't relate as much. So when I watched Super with them, I was sharing it with them, and when I would see like things pop up, like when Goku fought Hit, you haven't seen Super, right, Garishi?
No, but you know, and I know enough people that are into it. I feel like I've absorbed a lot of it via osmosis.
Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there was a scene when Goku was fighting Hit, and then like we all know what Kaioken is. My kids don't know what Kaioken is, or they didn't at that time. And when he was like Kaioken, and Hit was like, "Oh man, his power has tripled. No, it's quadrupled." And then he was like, "No," and Goku yells out like times 10, and it got me hyped. My kids got hyped, and
that's great.
It was it was an adaptation from. I felt like Goku, even though he was dingy, it had grown up, and I felt like as a dad, it was something like special that I could share with my kids. And they like the animation style in Super, and I'm seeing all these old characters come back and a lot of old references, and I get to explain it and this and that. So it was like a good. I feel like it was targeted more to the audience, but I think when it came out, it turned into like a beef between like old school Dragon Ball Z fans who didn't like Super because it was like different, and people who are new anime fans and being like, Super is the greatest thing ever, Dragon Ball Z sucked. And it's like, that is one thing I don't like with the anime community. It's like, oh, if you like Dragon Ball Z, you can't like One Piece. And if you like One Piece, then you can't like My Hero or this and that. Like everyone's got their own little cliques. I'm like, man, I just watch what I like. But
yeah, I'm with you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. And what I said like a lot about earlier, so the mangas I am reading, I think it's Vanguard right now, but that doesn't have an anime adaptation.
Not the same thing as the card game, is it?
No, it's no, not Vanguard. I lied. Vagabond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got my V's mixed up. Have you read that?
I have not.
What? No.
Vagabond. It's kind of in the realm of. Have y'all read Berserk?
No, my
No.
brother-in-law loves it, but I haven't borrowed it yet.
So Berserk is that is I don't know if Vagabond is as deep as Berserk, but Berserk is kind of depressing. I'm not gonna lie, it's not kind of
It's kind
depressing.
of
It is,
post-apocalyptic, isn't it?
man. Is I don't know what it's like. If I was to explain it, it's just, man, it is an anime. It is a manga. It's one of the ones, you go in Barnes and Nobles, they keep it wrapped up in plastic so kids can't look through it.
Oh, gotcha.
Um, yeah, it's pretty deep. The story on it, it's really good. There's if you want to like just get an introduction in it, because they made a anime adaptation to it, but they didn't finish it, and it kind of starts in the middle of the manga, and I don't think they plan on making another anime. They just did it just to do it. But it's if you go on YouTube, it's Berserk 1997. Um, Whatever one that was, the one they made in 1997, you can check that one out if you want to watch it, and then just hop into the anime. But Vagabond is, I don't think it's on the same level. I haven't watched it all the way, but it is pretty good. But there's no anime adaptation to that, and that I don't know anything about it. I just picked it up one day because I saw some people referencing it, and I'm I'm kind of glad it doesn't have an anime, that way I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything by just reading the manga.
Yeah, that's always a struggle. My wife and I tend to watch like, we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen together right now,
Yeah,
and every time a season ends, I'm like, "Man, I could just go, like, read everything right now," and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
but I shouldn't." Same with Chainsaw
yeah,
Man, same with Demon Slayer. I'm like, "Let me just hold off till it's done, and then I'll go back and read it." But the
yeah.
stuff that I've been reading like, I subscribe to the Shonen Jump app, so I get all the new stuff every week. All the stuff I've started on there, I was like, "Well, I don't wanna start the anime yet." Yeah.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
do that
yeah,
with
yeah.
Spy Family. I am reading and watching that at the same time.
Yeah, I can't. I don't read Demon Slayer because I wait and I watch it with my kids. Jujutsu Kaisen. Uh, I don't read that either. Oh man, I'm catching myself on lies all over the place. I do read Hunter x Hunter. Uh,
Yeah. Oh,
but
man.
I feel like that's different, man, because he disappeared. He disappears heavy. So it's like, dude, I don't know if I hope he's gonna finish, but I don't know. So I don't feel like I'm cheating by reading the manga on that one. It's like, man, you his hiatuses are forever. The author for Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't start reading it until, he was almost out of the most recent hiatus, and
Hmm.
I was like, "I'm never gonna get through all of this. It's like 20 years." And then I finally caught up, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Dang. Oh, he just stopped again. Crap. I guess I'll wait another 10 years."
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that he did finish it just in case, because he's sick as well. Just
Mhm.
in case he passed away. He did well, he wrote the ending to it, and his wife is tasked with finishing the series.
'Cause she's the artist for Sailor Moon, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
I
I'm
think
not
that's
100%
true,
sure.
which is, like, real power couple for sure.
I'm very bad with, I don't know any like the authors or creators like by name. Um Except for like Dragon Ball Z. Um but other than that, I'm terrible. I'm horrible with it. But
Yeah,
Hunter x
yeah,
Hunter,
they're
yeah,
married, which is
they
nuts.
are.
Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Hunter x Hunter all in the same household. That's just wild.
That is wild. I'm rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho right now.
Have you checked out the live action?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
I have been so scared because I love Yu Yu Hakusho. Um, I haven't even, like, watched the anime all through. I just loved the manga so much, but my friend who, like, lifelong worshiper, she told me, it's actually pretty decent for what it is, so I think I'm gonna start it here soon.
I think they're getting a little bit better because I didn't watch the one. I saw the first episode of the One Piece, but I don't think I'm gonna. Do you watch One Piece?
I have never really consumed anything from One Piece, and I
Oh,
was like,
man.
"Man, I wish I had read it up to this point so that I could watch the live action and get in on the hype and, like, make a decision, but now I feel like I can't start it without having read it.
I don't know what to say. I never tell anyone that they should watch it, or I try not to. Like, well, I tell people they should watch it, but not push it because it's got over 1,000 episodes. I mean,
Yeah.
One Piece was, if I'm not mistaken, it came out the same time Beyblade came out, and it's not finished yet. So you think about that, it's like what 99,
Yeah.
all the way to that's 24 years of episodes that you have to get through, and or 24, or that's more than that with the manga. So it's a lot, but I will say that it is worth it. With Goku's Ultra Instinct, was comparable to like breaking the internet with Luffy when he reached Gear 5. There was a lot of controversy with it because people didn't like it, but you got to understand, some people didn't like it, but One Piece is not Dragon Ball Z. Um, it's its own show. It's its own creator. It's so unique. I say it's one of the best written stories of all time because it's gone on for 24 plus years and it's still delivering top notch. It's not boring. It's not stale or any of that. It's just like, let's go. So,
Hey guys.
What's up, brother?
I'm actually gonna hop off. I've been parked out front of my house, and my wife is giving me the death glare through the door.
Okay, it has been a minute.
So
yeah. I'm sorry. And if you gotta hop off, Garishi, we usually run these for 2 hours. I can talk for all night until when it comes to anime, but yeah, I don't want to hold you up. We'll hop off of here soon. But if you gotta hop off now, we can let you go.
Yeah, I'm good, but I totally get it, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna hop off. She's giving me that look like if you don't get in here, I'm gonna kill you tonight. So,
all right, man. Much love, brother. You have a good night, man. It's good talking to you
all right,
again.
guys, have a good night. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Peace. I would say One Piece. And are you good with talking about anime? I know this is the Beyblade, and also for the listeners too. Like I'm just starting out, so
even if we don't, if whatever you put in, I'm good to talk.
Solid.
My wife's off at craft night, so.
Oh, solid. Yeah,
Although she could hop in on it too. My wife, she's got, I'm trying to think how many anime tattoos. She has multiple Jujutsu Kaisen tattoos. She's got Nana tattoos. She's like a big fan as well. We're quite that house.
I gotta watch season 2. So I'm bad with this too because I've gotten used to binge watching. So now I no longer want to wait for weeks on episode. So I'll wait till something is finished and then I'll go and watch it. Like I saw Luffy's for One Piece, I saw the Gear 5 episode and now I stopped watching it. I'm gonna wait for like a couple of months and then I'll binge watch like 20 episodes or so. But I will say it is worth it. It is a struggle, I think, to get through it. But once you get hooked on it, you're kind of stuck. Yeah. At least that's what I say. It's a
to give it a go because I also enjoy the binge stuff, and like I did that with Naruto, did that with Hunter x Hunter. I feel like it probably wouldn't take me that long to get through One Piece because I just blow through stuff. So
dude, it's gonna from coming from a binge watcher and a lover of anime, it's still gonna take you some time.
Okay. I feel like I'm playing
show.
catch up because like I had a few things I was really into as a kid. Like I watched some Toonami and I like had a few series I was super into, but like most of the heavy hitters I did not get heavy into until I was an adult. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I never watched Dragon Ball, or like, oh, I've never read Naruto. Like and that's why I was like, what? Let me just do it, So I've been playing catch up for the past couple of years.
Well, the beauty of it now, we're older, so we don't have we're not fighting with our parents over the TV. We have our own money, so we don't have to ask them to buy us a manga, nor do we have to ask them like anything. We could if we want a manga, we can just go out and buy it. If we want to watch something, we can just subscribe to the network. You said you got Shonen Jump?
Yeah, I didn't get a subscription back in the day, like when it was getting published here physically, and I just bought volumes, like $10 a pop or whatever it was, which just like kills when you're 12. And I prefer physical media for the most part, but man, like just being able to pay, I think it's $3 a month and
Mhm.
get almost every Shonen Jump series that's ever released, and then every new chapter every week. I'm reading like 5 things at any given time just because there's so much stuff and I love it.
Yeah, I got a buddy like that. He's younger than me, but he's heavy into anime. He's who I go to for if I want to watch something new. Because for majority of my life, I would just watch the same 4 or 5 animes just over and over again. That was Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, and Rurouni Kenshin when I was watching it. And what Samurai Champloo? Have you seen that?
I haven't, but again, I love Cowboy Bebop, and a
Man,
couple other series from that director, and so I really
yeah,
wanna see that.
I would tell you, and I'm probably like the oddball out. I am not a fan of Cowboy Bebop, and that's just it's just me. I've tried so hard, Garishi, like, but I just can't. I can't do it. I don't know why.
I
Like,
can
I get it.
understand that.
Yeah, like, so I know it was something that brought a lot of people into anime too. Like, I would say Dragon Ball Z and Cowboy Bebop is definitely a go to the show because it had that cool opening theme song and
Hard to
Spike.
beat. We got it on vinyl, and man, that's our dinner music.
Yeah. And it was just it is dope. Spike is a super cool character. Like who doesn't want to be Spike? But it was like I just couldn't. I don't know. I still have the same feeling as I did with the kid. It just felt too. I think it felt too serious to me or too
Mhm.
realistic, even though it was like futuristic. And I felt the same way. Have you seen the original Ghost in the Shell movie?
I have not, but although I hear that's pretty heavy.
It is, and I felt the same way when I watched that. And Cowboy Bebop kind of gave me the same vibes, and it's probably because I watched it way. It was way ahead of my time because at that point I was just trying to watch any anime that I could, and if I couldn't relate as much, it just had that effect, and it still does to this day. And have you seen Akira?
No, that's my great
No,
anime sin. I haven't seen it yet.
it's all right. I'm gonna let you shoot some animes my way because I don't want you to feel like I'm just bashing with stuff that I haven't seen. Akira is also like something that was way ahead of my time because I've even watched it as an adult. But that is my favorite anime movie. Akira is great. It is great.
What I hear, it's supposed to be like the Citizen Kane of animated films, right?
Yeah, it's uh I recommend you and your wife watching it if you have time. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
We've got our hands in so many different things at once. We'll add it to the rotation. We're
What?
watching we're sort of watching Spy Family, we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen, we're about to finish Bebop because like I've seen it, but she hasn't. And
Oh,
she,
okay.
like you, is not the hugest fan. Um, yeah, I think there's probably a couple other things in there. And then, of course, always keeping up with the latest Studio Ghibli.
Hmm.
I
Have y'all
gotta
seen
tell
it? Oh, go
What's
ahead.
that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I gotta tell you this. I know you're not super into manga, and I think this one has gotten popular enough that it's gonna get an anime one of these days. So watch out for it. It's called Sakamoto Days.
Hmm.
It's this rising. It's like 150 chapters in on Shonen Jump, and it is it is about this dad who used to be an assassin and he retired, to get with his wife. She said, "You got to stop killing people." And he's like, "Okay." So he swore off killing. They had a
Is he
kid and he just
taking home
opens up a convenience store and he just wants to be left alone. He got old, he got a little chubby. He just wants to be chubby and happy with his
Mhm.
family. And then he keeps getting roped back in to assassin stuff.
Yeah.
And and he's like he doesn't kill people anymore, but he's just like always trying to stay out of it, but getting wrapped in. He like just wants to go be a dad. And so it's like equal parts like action thriller with like the comedy of he's like, man, I wish I was at home eating my wife's, like pot roast.
Yeah.
It's really great. I think it's gonna make a really great anime when it hits.
Hold on, because there's something on Netflix that sounds like very similar to that. I started watching it one day, but I didn't finish it.
Is that Way of
It's,
the House Husband?
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Is it like that or no?
It's a little similar. It's a little more on the action and a little less on the comedy, but
Okay.
it's
Okay.
still pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah. I I I know because my buddy he gets on me. He wants me to read manga, and I tell him like, man, it's just hard for me. Like it's for one thing, when I start reading, I start overthinking way too much. So it's not just manga. That's reading in general. But when I like a show, like I just like the show. I don't want to. I can't spoil it, but there probably will be some point in time that I will be reading it. Like I am reading Vagabond right now. I did buy Berserk, and I had to read that because it doesn't have the anime. But I don't know. I'll probably get a little bit more used to it. I know I said I was asking you about too many shows, but have you seen Hunter x Hunter, or y'all just read the manga?
So I started watching the newer one, which I guess is old at this point. I think it's like 2011.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things I was trying to watch with my wife. So like getting, both getting set down at the same time, we kind of fell off.
Hmm.
But I really want to finish it because I love Hunter x Hunter.
What
And
season were you on?
I was still just in the first season. Like they hadn't even gotten to the game on the island yet.
Okay.
But reading
So-
it, I'm all the way caught up trying to get to Dark Continent.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I didn't finish the last manga because like I said, like if I finish it, then it's done. So I want to wait till it's done so I could binge watch it. But I am caught up all the way through there. Um, talk about today's. Yeah, thank you for sending me that. And then but that series it changes day to day. But Hunter x Hunter is possibly my favorite anime of all time, just because of season 5 with the ants. Because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, my Beyblade name is well the one I compete with. Everyone knows me as Stay Cool, but the one I compete with is FG Merwin,
Mhm.
because of the King. I loved his character development. It was like just one of the most beautiful character developments I've seen in any anime. His battle for just life. He was like so powerful, so strong, and all he wanted to do in the end was just he just wanted to play I can't
Chess,
remember the name of the
right?
game. Yeah, it was pretty much like chess. And just he had all the power in the world. Everyone wanted him to do everything, but he just wanted to live a simple life, So
Yeah,
I
shonen, like shonen gets a bad rap, and I totally get it because like a lot of times it just like turns into endless battle arcs, tournament arcs. I understand how that's not like
yeah.
super deep, but then something like Hunter x Hunter will come along with a storyline like that, and you're like, good grief, like this is really getting at something pretty deep here, even if it is, in Shonen Jump and like technically aimed at like middle schoolers. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
hits.
It was wild like that. When I saw that, I mean, people, y'all could judge me all you want. I've been watching anime all my life. I get caught up in my feelings, man, and I that scene it made me it definitely made me teary eyed. I think it's from stuff going on in your life too, because at that point, like you just start feeling pressure, and it's like, man, I can relate to this, Like as you said, it's like, yeah, some things they hit kind of hard, they hit kind of deep. Um, Especially, I think it depends on the time of your life. I would have saw it as a kid, it wouldn't have impacted me nearly as much as it does now as I'm an adult with the responsibilities and the life I have now. So
For sure. Going back to a lot of that stuff I watched as a kid, it definitely hits different now. Even like again, stuff made for kids. Like I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan. Watched like though probably his youngest targeted movie, My Neighbor Totoro, as a kid. And I was like,
mhm,
oh, this is fun. It's just like running around with like magic creatures, and watching it as an adult, you're like, man,
mhm.
these kids are about to like lose their parent to like a terminal disease, and like it's like, man, how old are my parents getting? When am I gonna lose my parent? Like, dang, like
Yeah, it's different. It's like yeah, when you watch when you're young, it's like different entertainment. It's like, oh, this might be cool, it might not be, and you watch it in your different stages in life. You're like, oh my goodness, like that's what I was saying about Super. Like Super would have been cool as a kid, but like now as a dad, it's like and I see his relationship with Gohan, and I want my sons to like, surpass me and to get great, and it's like, dang, man, it hits different. um, with these relationships. And even though it's like, yeah, they are targeted for kids or for younger audiences, but the stories in them, you can get out of them what you want. If all you see is just like, oh, this is a cartoon, like what our parents used to tell us, and maybe that's all it'll be. But if you actually take time to get past the animation part of it and really see the story, like you'll see something a lot deeper.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I know, like even now with anime being as as mainstream as it's ever been, there's still a little bit of like cartoons, but
Mm-hmm.
It's a big wide world, but there's some really great, really serious stuff that I think stands up with the best of any art form.
1,000%. 1,000%. I 100% agree with that. 100% do. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. We are coming up on the 2 hours. I know Mike, he hopped up out of here. But did you have any questions for us or anything you wanted to hit on?
I think my one final question for you is, and I don't think we've hit on this yet, what is your opinion about them remaking the One Piece anime when it hasn't finished yet?
Who's doing that?
Did you see that?
No.
They announced that they're going to start redoing it from the beginning.
You know what?
And yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, apparently the like reasoning is that it's been going on for so long, they want to update the animation, which I can respect. But again, I was like, man, that feels weird because it hasn't started yet. I mean, it hasn't stopped yet.
Did you So I'm gonna get off track in it, but I'm gonna come right back. I brought this up before on other podcast episodes. When Blizzard, they had their BlizzCon, and they were supposed to release, I think, Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to release it. They had their BlizzCon, or the fan base was expecting it, but they came out with the app at the time.
Oh yeah,
Diablo. Yeah, and everyone was super pissed off, and they were like, "What are you doing? Like, this is crazy." But it was the shareholders' idea, and it was just like it was just a capitalist type thing, like just a corporation. They were looking at it in terms of money, and in that point in time, mobile gaming was the thing to do. So it was like so heavy, like people were spending literally their complete paychecks on mobile games. So they're like, like we'll get Diablo, like completely forgetting about just the like diehard fans and the people who are actually gaming. It was a wave. So as soon as when you said it, I was like, that sounds stupid. That sounds crazy. But then also at the same time, if they want people, because One Piece is, I would say, definitely one of the most popular animes out right now, especially on social media, on everything. It's got a game and all that. But if you look at the old episodes, it does. I won't say it looks bad. It doesn't look good, man. It's kind of like it's kind of wonky and whack. So if they do recreate it, it could be something catering a little bit more to the newer audiences and things like that.
I think people have mentioned maybe taking out some filler, which I've heard about before. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but everybody that recommends that I watch it, they say watch one of the edits where they cut down on like 200 episodes.
That may be better too, because there are some episodes. Because there's a lot of memes and jokes about it. There's a character named Zoro. He'll get lost, and that will be like filler episodes, or like it's about finding Zoro, or like they'll get split up. They're to get to some island and this and that. Zoro ends up wandering off, and they'll say it too, like because if they do catch him before he gets lost, they're like, "Thank God," because he saved us from 50 episodes from fillers, just from Zoro getting lost. So it may be a little bit better. It may be a little bit more condensed. I'm still, I don't know. I guess they pro-choice with it. That's probably not the best words. But
let people watch what they want to watch.
Yeah, watch what they want to watch. If they want to watch it if it's edited, if it's not, and this and that, like I'm all love for it. As long as I love anime. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm only a One Piece fan, or oh, I'm only Dragon Ball Z fan, or just Hunter x Hunter. I'll have debates like um me and my buddy, we debated about, this is a spoiler if you watch Hunter x Hunter and you don't read the manga. You know, when Hisoka and Crollo fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did you read that part? You read that
Oh
part,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I got it all.
So you may agree with him, you may agree with me, but this is the only time like I'll debate. He felt like Hisoka got done wrong, and he was like Crollo was pretty much a punk for what he did, and I was like, no. I was like, Hisoka got what he deserved, and he shouldn't have been messing with Crollo. And so we argued about that for like a day, the whole day he was here, and we still didn't come to a consensus. But it's things like that that I'll debate about. But if people enjoying these shows, then I let them enjoy it. So
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like I'm usually that kind of like I'm playing a hardcore band, right? And like the punk and hardcore community, people are always arguing about like genres and like what counts or what not. And I'm
yeah,
usually like, hey, we're all one big music family here, like let's not have
yeah,
this genre versus that genre. But every now and then something will come along and I'll be like, nope. And usually it has something to do with like emo. People will like argue with me about like emo bands and I'll be like, no, 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 no.
yeah, yeah.
And I know it makes me a little bit insufferable, but I will.
Well, it's just some things you have your passions about. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be diehard for Merowim, just the way I feel about it, and it's like nobody's changing my mind on that. And I feel like it's like, dude, this is my opinion. This is the way it made me feel. I'm not about to change my mind just because you don't agree with me. It's like it's just what it is. Since I brought it up, I gotta ask you, how you feel about that, Hunter, about Crollo versus Hisoka?
I would have to jog my memory about some of the specifics, but I will say just like my general memory, I think I always thought Hisoka was like cooler, but like
Mm-hmm.
I was always if I was gonna empathize with one of the like quote unquote bad guys, it would be Crollo.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what happened if like Hisoka was always trying to fight Crow? Like that's Hisoka's character. He wanted to
Mhm.
fight like strong people, and Crollo he ended up like he lost his nin, so he couldn't fight. Hisoka essentially like helped him get it back because he wanted to fight him. So they fought at Heaven's Arena, like on the top floor. Crollo's ability, he can take other people's nin powers and use them himself. So he got
This
two
is
of
the
his
fight where
members.
Hisoka like you think he's dead for a little while after, right?
Hisoka did die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did die. He got killed. I said spoiler before, so it is what it is. He fought Crollo. Crollo like he used like the copy ability from one of his members, so he copied like a whole bunch of people and pretty much made bombs. And then he used the guy that has the remote control, his manipulator ability to control these people.
Mhm.
And so pretty much everyone in the stands came down, crowded
Yeah,
on top
yeah,
of each
yeah, yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
he ended up blowing up or like dying or something. But Hisoka like put nin in his heart to restart his heart, because it gets stronger after death, so he came back to life. And my buddy was like, Crollo cheated, you know, and but
No.
I'm like, that's Crollo's ability to use other people's nin. But I was like, back up, wait a minute. Crollo never wanted to fight Hisoka.
Sure, yeah.
Hisoka, you think about it from Crollo's view. Hisoka infiltrated Crollo's like gang or family, killed the members, like deceived all of them, pretty much sold them out. And then like he was like, "Hey, I want to fight you." It's like, what type of fight? If anybody wanted to fight me, if me fighting fair would cause me to lose my life, why would I fight fair? That's Jack Sparrow's quote from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, what? Why would I fight fair if I'm gonna die? It's like, dude, you're pressing me to fight and this and that. But me and my buddy, we argue about. Yeah, man, you got me going on a tangent. I love my anime. It helped raise me. It helped turn me from a boy to a man. So I can talk about this forever. But
Well,
yeah,
I
man.
think I stand with you, James, on that one.
Yeah,
Hisoka's
yeah,
cool, but I never quite understood him. I was like, "Man, you really just like you just wanna fight people." Like, there's Goku just wanting to fight people to just wanna fight
yeah,
people, and then there's Hisoka like, "Man, you just wanna, like, torture
yeah. And
people." Like,
he wants to kill the people too.
you
It's
just
not
wanna
even like,
watch them die, yeah.
yeah, yeah. he's something else. And then he finally gets beaten, and he has like a crybaby about it. And he like comes back and he's like just killing Krollo's friends. Like I was like, dude, I won't say the words that I was using with my homeboy up here, but I was like, man, Hisoka is kind of like not
Yeah.
it. You know, I feel like
He's not it.
he was not it. But yeah, I guess was there anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I hope to. I understand that you're coming up on a potentially big move. I hope things go the best way they're supposed to for you. Um, I look forward to playing you again in X.
Yeah. Yeah. I think regardless the move or not, I still am gonna have Showdown in VA. It's gonna be possibly my next tournament, or like my next big tournament, to try to see members of the community that I've met, and have fun with that. So and hopefully I'll be able to see you there. This is Beyblade. I'm trying to hold back this burp. I'm sorry if I like breaking out, but Beyblade has introduced me to a lot of great friends and a lot of great community in this community, because I'm a pretty big introvert. So meeting like you, Mike, all the guys in Virginia, the North Carolina community, Maryland community, Florida, US, Shindog, even Canada, Zenki, various people. It's been a beautiful experience. So yeah, I'm praying and hoping it's a great move for my family, or a great transition. We may not have to move. God willing, we won't. And then also have a one big hurrah with the Beyblade community we've been involved with for the past 3 to 4 years.
Well, I'm very selfishly hoping it doesn't mean that, but if that's the best thing, I hope the best thing
Yeah,
happens. And
yeah,
I got to thank you once again. I know I have before, but since I'm here on your podcast, like I don't know if I would be where I am with the WBO if you hadn't come up and hosted that tournament. Like I might not have ever made a drive. Like
yeah.
we hadn't had tournaments here for a long time. So I might not have ever gotten into competitive Beyblade. So I got to thank you for taking that chance and hosting up here. I think, a lot of people got linked up because of that. A lot of people got started because of that. So, props to you and thank you.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate the love right there. I really do. Yeah, that's what we do it for. And yeah, I appreciate that, because it puts a smile on my face just helping others out. So thank you for that. I do want to say one more thing before we hop off. I got my recommendations. Akira, when you can. Do you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, Akira, if you can. I feel like that'd be a good date night movie to watch.
All right.
Uh, Hunter x Hunter, if you get to finish it. Season 3 is my second favorite season. 5 with the ants is great. And I want to say that's all I really got for you now. And Berserk, if you have time. And yeah, I do hope that we could see each other to get some X battles going on in the near future.
All right. I'll bring my best deck.
All right, man. All right, well, you take care. Tell the missus I said hey, my family said hey, and to the Beyblade community, thank y'all for being patient. I know it's been a month. We're gonna release this out, be the end of the year. Yeah, God willing, I can have that big tournament in Virginia. If you're able to come out, definitely come out. See a lot of the community, show some love, have some fun playing X. We might even do bursts depending on how big it can get. And continue to get out there, grow your community. Shout out to North Carolina. I'm so sorry I haven't been attending as many events as I was in the past. Thank you to hashtag Fafnir for hosting, and Fireblader07. I'm not sure if you're hosting yet, but thank you as well for getting your organizer call. And without further ado, y'all take care.